Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. Today is weigh-in and weekly topic. So over the past 3 weeks through the holiday season, I gained 4.4 pounds. If you remember correctly, in the beginning of December, I said my goal was to maintain over the holidays. Didn't quite happen exactly the way I had planned. I turned into a cookie monster. Whose fault was it? It was my fault. My family said, "Mom, you don't have to bake cookies." You know what? Back in, that little naggy part of my head was like, what's Christmas without baking cookies? So I made cookies. 4 different kind. You know what? Most of them are still sitting downstairs. The only ones that got completely eaten were the chocolate chips. So you know what? Next year, I'm gonna make maybe 1 kind of cookie, maybe 2, and just halve it. Or if I decide to make 4 different ones, I'm going to either halve or quarter the recipes because it's a waste. We're over it. So, yeah. So it's nobody's fault but my own. I own it. But you know what? It's okay. Because I have the tools and I have the knowledge and I have the ability to get the weight back off. Now, if you remember, I said I wanted to lose like 7 pounds. Well, now I'm back up to about 8 or 9 I want to lose maybe. I don't know. Doug kind of had a little heart-to-heart with me the other day. And he's like, "Babe, I don't think that your body wants to be like 132 anymore." He said, I really think that maybe your body wants to be at 138 or 140. He said, with the whole menopause thing and getting a little older and doing so much strength training, he said, there's maybe a happy place. And I know this in my heart, but to have him kind of tell me made it a little more real, I guess, because I felt like I was justifying it. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I definitely want to drop a few pounds, which actually happened this week. So I wasn't sure how this week was going to go because I indulged a little too much around New Year's, but I ended up dropping 2.4 pounds this week. Yes, I'm thrilled with that. So out of that, 2 or 4.5 I gained, half of it's already gone. So I'm feeling very in control. I'm feeling like I have this. And realizing that when I was doing too much indulging, I felt like crap. My clothes were tight. And I don't think a lot of it was necessarily fat tight, like fat gain tight. A lot of it was just the crap I was eating. I was holding a lot of fluid. I mean, there was definitely some fat gain. Don't get me wrong. I was eating a lot of fluid. I just felt yucky. I just didn't feel good. So I know what I need to do to fuel my body and what I need to eat to fuel my body. And it's not all the crap. It's not all the processed food. We were eating crackers and we were eating some chips and we were having all those pickies and my body's not used to that because we've been cutting it out so much. So my body was rebelling. So back on to the good, healthy eating and back to feeling a whole lot better. So, yep, reaching for the veggies now instead of the crackers and the chips and the things like that. And boy, what a difference it makes. At least it does for me. So, so that is my weigh-in this week, and let's get into the weekly topic. Now, as I mentioned in my video the other day, WW is no longer, they're still sending the weekly email with the topic, but they are no longer providing a PDF to print. I'm really not sure why, because it doesn't cost them anymore. They're still sending the email. So I have it on my iPad, so I will be reading it off of there. Now, they are still providing a weekly recipe, which I didn't think they were. But I did find it on the email, and that is printable. And it looks really good this week, so I'm gonna try to remember to talk about that. So this week, the next 4 weeks, you know how they've been doing like little series? These weekly technique, they're calling them the weekly technique, and it's kind of a reset series they're doing. And this week's weekly technique, I'm sorry, I'm scrolling because this is all new. I'm used to just having the piece of paper. This weekly technique, I have to open the email and the app, is setting up your home for weight loss success. If your kitchen or dining room, or any room for that matter, is getting in the way of your goals, we see you cupcakes on the counter. Use these tips to reset your space. And then they go on to give a couple of tips about how to reset our space. And I'm going to add a couple more to it also. Create visual clues is their first one. Instead of leaving the bag of chips open on the counter, leave out something healthier. Now they say leave out popcorn because it's lower in smart points. Now, you know, I've talked about this 100 times before on my channel. What I like to do is I like to make a fruit and veggie platter. I have a, like a Rubbermaid thing that has like sections in it. And I'm able to put that under the, I take the lid off. I put an ice pack in the lid and then put the tray on top, and it keeps it cold all day. And I fill it with fresh fruit and fresh veggies and some dip, sometimes some hummus. That way it's there and it's healthy and we can snack on that. And let me tell you, we all love it. I got out of that and it showed. So we are back onto that. So definitely try to replace, and you know, if you don't like that, that's fine. Then do something like popcorn or something that's just lower points than chips. Or if you absolutely have to have those chips, and believe me, I get having to have chips, don't put the whole bag out on the counter. No. Our hand goes into that bag and into that bag. Weigh or measure out your portion. Put it in a bowl. Put it in a pretty basket. Make it look nice. Put that out on the counter. That way you know how many points it is. You know that this is what you can have for that amount of points. If you leave the bag out, you're eating a whole lot more than you think you are. You're not accounting for it. It's a slippery slope. So if you have to have the chips, weigh, measure, put them in a bowl. But try a healthier alternative first. Number 2, make it easier for your future self. Going to bed without setting up your kitchen for the instead of going to bed without setting up your kitchen for the morning, do this. Put overnight oats in a bowl at the front of the fridge and leave a spoon out. It doesn't have to be overnight oats. It can be anything. Prep your breakfast the night before if you're pressed for time in the morning, or set up a menu plan and know what you're having. Don't get up and get ready for work or get ready for your day and like open the refrigerator going, what am I going to have for breakfast? Have a plan and know it. You know, in one of my videos a while ago, I talked about my routines. One of my evening routines is prepping for the next day. That doesn't necessarily mean food prep. It just means making my morning easier. It means laying my workout clothes out, laying my clothes out that I'm going to wear that day. I even like figure out like jewelry and stuff like that. Like I just lay it all out. I set up my kitchen. Like I look at my menu. I know what I'm going to have. Like I knew this morning we were having sausage gravy bowls. I made sure the meat was thawed. I could cook the meat if I wanted to last night. I ended up not doing that, but like I just made sure the meat was in the refrigerator thawing for this morning. I made sure I had all the ingredients. I gathered the dry ingredients on the counter, so everything was ready this morning. No excuses for not getting it done and not having a huge, healthy 3-point breakfast versus, oh, you know what, let's just run the Dunkin'. So it really does help. And it doesn't take that much time, especially if you make it a routine. Then they say, instead of keeping the brownies on the counter and grabbing them on autopilot, if you're going to make them, take what you want, enjoy one, eat one, freeze the rest in individual portions. Because if you have to pull it out of the freezer and thaw it, you have a little bit more time to think about, do I really want that? Will it fit into my day? If you have the plate there on the counter, it's just too easy. It's just too easy. But if you have to pull it out of the freezer, you're going to have time to think about that decision you're making. And if you decide that you do want it, that's not a wrong decision. But it's not right in front of you, and you have to think about it. Think about, do I have the points for that? Am I willing to use some weeklies or, kind of things like that? So it gives you a little more time to process it. Another thing, instead of snacking while you're cooking, do this. Make the table the only place you eat. That's a big one. That's a big one because you can eat a whole meal while you're cooking just by snacking. And I know because I've probably done it. I'll sit down after cooking and go, boy, I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry because I ate a whole meal while I was cooking. It's really easy to pick off, a little piece of chicken or scoop those mashed potatoes on your finger, things like that. Notice we never eat the extra broccoli or cauliflower. It's always the good stuff. So make it a conscious effort to say, no, I am going to enjoy this meal. I am going to enjoy it at the table. And also at night, like my leader always used to talk about this. She made a rule that she would only eat at the table. So if she wanted to have a snack at night and she was watching a really great TV show, she had to leave her really great TV show to go and sit at the table to eat that snack. And then she started thinking, is that snack worth it? So you can use little hacks like these to really, really help you on your journey. A couple other things that I think of when we're setting up for success is make sure you have all the tools available that you need. Make sure you have a food scale. A food scale is the most important thing in my kitchen for me because I love to weigh things versus measure them. It's so much easier to weigh stuff, and I think you get a lot of times you get a better portion too. Have your measuring spoons, your measuring cups, and have several sets of them. Because if one's dirty, you have another one. There's no excuse. Oh, well, the 3/4 cup was dirty, so I'll just have a whole cup of whatever, insert food here. So have a couple different sets of them. Have healthy food available. Have the stuff that you like available. Have a special treat that you know you can fit into your day available to you. Things like that. There's so many different things we can do to set ourselves up for success. So the recipe this week. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing on that. There's another little thing that says, let's dive a little deeper. We tend to make decisions that cause the least amount of friction in our lives. 100%. We're all guilty of that. I know that, when I get really, really busy or have a really stressful day and I don't feel like cooking, it's easier to order takeout. So now when I do my weekly menu plans, I try, and things happen. Things come up that we're not expecting, and I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. But I try to plan those things out. Like I know that this weekend, Friday and Saturday, we will be taking down all of our Christmas decor. If you saw my Christmas house tour, we have a lot of Christmas decor and it takes a while. And I wanted to have it finished by Saturday night because Sunday is Doug's birthday. And I don't want to be working on his birthday doing that. And I don't want him to be working on his birthday. I want to go do something fun. And make a nice meal for him. So I know on Saturday we are going to be going full throttle working on Christmas stuff. I'm not going to stop to cook dinner. I know that. So I planned takeout. And by knowing that I was going to plan Chinese takeout, I could plan the rest of my day around those points for Chinese takeout. So set yourself up for success. Don't always go for the easiest thing. Stop and think about it. Because the next thing they say is the easier the choice, the more likely we are to do it. And 100%. I am totally guilty of that. Sometimes it's so much easier to kick my shoes off at night and let them sit on my bedroom floor than putting them in the closet. Sometimes it's easier to call the pizzeria and order a pizza than it is to make my own pizza. Yep, we go for the easy choices. And the last thing they say is, in order to hit the reset on our journeys, we need to reset our spaces too. And what better time than January? January is the time when our Christmas decor comes down and our houses get cleaned, and we want to organize and we want to declutter and we want to do all that stuff. So now is the time. Embrace it. Like, I know last summer when we did our big house renovation, I did a big macro declutter. We got rid of so much stuff. Now, once our Christmas decor, actually I've already started before the Christmas decor comes down, I'm doing a micro declutter. I'm going back and looking at things again with a new set of fresh eyes and getting rid of a little bit more. If I haven't used it since the summer, then I'm not going to use it. I know that. So I'm working on that. I'm working on cleaning out cupboards and drawers. I cleaned out my tea towel drawer. No one needs that many towels. No one needs that many decorative towels. Nope, not gonna do it. I bought a couple really cute decorative towels from the Dollar Tree, like to hang on my stove and all. Well, they get dirty because they're on my stove. They're not really great for using like as towels because they're from the Dollar Tree. Well, when I washed them, they got really wrinkled. So I had to iron them. I'm like, you know what? They're cute, but it's not worth all the aggravation. They're out of here. I've been making some tough decisions and I feel lighter for it. I really do. So take a look at your spaces and try to, as we're decluttering the weight from our bodies, try to declutter some of your space as well. You'll definitely feel better for it. I know I do. My big thing, once COVID is over or weaned or whatever, I'm going to declutter my wardrobe. And I would love to try to go to a capsule wardrobe. I have too many clothes. I know I do. I have too many clothes. And I don't want to do that now because we have not been anywhere. We have not done anything like huge. Like normally I do wear a lot more clothes, but with COVID, we're so home so much that I'm really living in my jeans and my, like long sleeve t-shirts right now. So I don't want to go tackling that until I see, once we're back to some sort of normalcy, exactly the clothes that I am using and wearing and things like that. But I definitely want to ditch some clothes because nobody needs this many clothes. No, I don't. So anyway, that is my little rant on that. That is the weekly topic and that is my weigh-in. I am hoping to keep this train going and drop another pound next week. That would be ideal. So I am going to work hard for it. I'm going to get my workouts in. And if you remember on my goals video, I talked about one of my goals was to reach each goal each month that the Apple Watch sets for me. This month they're starting off with a doozy, 120 miles. It doesn't sound like a lot until you think, okay, 120 miles. Well, if I run 3 times a week and do a 5K, that's 9 miles. That's not a lot. And I've really been trying to limit my running to 2 to 3 times a week just because my knees are getting older. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one. And January may not happen. I'm going to work my butt off to try to get as close as I can to it. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, I almost forgot the recipe. Knew I was going to forget. So the recipe this week is, I don't know if you can see the glare, pecan crusted buttermilk chicken. It looks so yummy. This is one I will definitely make. It is 7 points on the green plan. It is 4 points on the blue and 4 points on the purple. It's boneless, skinless chicken breast, buttermilk, plain breadcrumbs, finely chopped pecans or pecans, however you say it, 1 teaspoon of Cajun seasoning, and 1 tablespoon of canola oil. I'm wondering if this can be air fried, just for a little bit more ease, you know, pop it in and not worry about frying it in a pan and finishing it in the oven and stuff. So it looks really good, and I'm going to try to work that into my January menu. If I can't fit it in January because my January dinner menu is already completely done, I'm going to have it in February for sure because it looks fantastic. So that is the menu, or the recipe for the week. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit here and chat with me. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. If you don't know where that is, after this video, when the blue screen comes up with my picture, you can just hit right on my face and that'll take you to the subscribe screen as well. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below how your weigh-in went this week, how your reset is going, all that fun stuff. And I will talk to you all very, very soon.